Tea.
You're not too sure.
Book.
Book.
Indoors. Face wash. One big favor. Hi, I'm Portia Mngomezulu, the Managing Director of Portia M Skin Solutions. I grew up in Kamashishimale in Palabora. I was raised by my maternal grandmother. She was a businesswoman as well. They owned a cafe, and I think I learned most of my business skills there. The reason why I was raised by my maternal grandmother is because I was born of a teenage mother. However, my father later married her, so they are still together. So I later joined them when I was around the age of 12, but most of my childhood was with my grandmother. You know, when you grow up and you don't realize that even though you have a cafe at home, but you are not really rich, you are poor to middle class somewhere. So the way times where we would play in the streets without clothes on, that's how safe South Africa used to be when I grew up. So we would play under the marula tree, and my grandmother would teach me how to make fermented beer out of the marula fruit. And out of that fruit, we will then store the kernels of the marula and then crack them later and get the nut, which is what we make the marula oil out of today. Even when I was in high school, I used to make my own pocket money by plaiting people's hair. You know, my mother was a seamstress. She was also a businesswoman. So I'll take certain pieces of the material that she discards and use it to make cushions and sell it. You know, I would always sell it on credit, and when it's month end, I would ask her to go with me to get my money because I was scared, you know, to ask people to pay me. But it has always been with me, this business thing. I don't remember being broke. I always had a way to make money. Everything is a seed, by the way, and I think they really planted a good seed, my grandmother and my mom, and that seed has germinated into the woman that you see today. Years later on, I grow up, I meet my husband, I happen to have stretch marks. There's a son born. What a beautiful problem. And my mother-in-law advises that, you know, in the olden days, we used to use the oil from the marula tree. And of course, I'm familiar with this marula, but I didn't know that it can make products as well. So I go to the rural areas, I buy the oil, I apply it on myself, I can see a difference, and I give it to some of my friends. I start repackaging it into small containers. There's one lady actually we used to work with. Her mom was in a car accident, and I gave her the bottle, and the mom tried it on her scar. After 3 months, there was a visible difference, you know. And of course, that businesswoman wakes up now, and then I start looking around. I'm like, but why can't there be a Portia M from Africa, you know, Konabo Elizabeth, you know, L'Oreal, who is she, you know? I start reading about these people. I start reading about who's KFC. I start reading about most business people who've named businesses after themselves. And I realized that, you know what, there's power in that, because then that is a true representation of who you are. Yeah, and I believe that is the whole purpose. You know, there's a reason for a thing and a time for it to happen. And I believe I happened so I can give another girl hope. That someone like her, who's from a rural background, who's from Africa, can also do something great if they persist, if they focus, and if they really dedicate themselves and believe in their purpose. I believe that, you know, when the good word says nothing just happens, nothing just happens. Everything happens because someone knows the end from the beginning already. We are just merely living it and just becoming everything that we were meant to be. So I believe nothing just happens. It was all orchestrated before I was born. God knew exactly who I'll become.
This is out of a purification system. The water is purified first before we use it to mix our product. to make sure that the vision progress quite?
The vision grows, but I'm scared. I'm like, yo, social media. Yes, I'm an IT professional, but I know what social media can do and not do for you. So I opened this secret group and I invite only people who like me and who are close to me. And I tell them about this product, but in no time, I see people also posting about my product out of the group. And now I have to open this group. There is no budget at the time. And I remember this one lady says, I came across this product. It's called Portia M. And I had pimples. Pick and pay. Look at my skin now. Thank you, Portia M. And I see more comments coming in. And I'm like, yo, people are actually using this product. At the time, there's no money for an influencer. And it's just people that have honestly used the product who started advocating for it. And most stores are starting to call like, hey, we want to try it. I go to listings and they accept the product, of course. And I see more and more people, and it was mainly women who made Portia M what it is. This was around 2015. Yeah, because I resigned fully from work around 2011, 2012, went fully into business. But obviously there has to be compliance and testing of products while you wait. So I had to wait until then before I could list the first product at Macro and later on at Pick and Pay. It was challenging, but I was determined. I had faith, I had belief. I had spoken to those shelves that one day my product will be here next to this big oil. My marula oil deserves to be here. It was challenging. There's a lot of red tape coming in as an African supplier. There are other suppliers in the past that the retailers had dealt with who didn't deliver. So I had to work 100 times more. Not to mention that I'm also female. But what
Black female at that.
Exactly. But what I've noticed is that when you are sincere, people are always willing to help you. And I was sincere, I was transparent, I was clear what my vision was. And the buyers who helped me then, I still have relationships with them today. This is bigger than me. I've realized that. This is for generations to come. Even the fights that we get involved in, even those people they'll tell their children's children that we did this to try and break this, but it kept on standing. Because this is bigger. It's way greater than who I am. There are many challenges, many, including the listings themselves, to convince buyers who don't believe in what you're doing. They want you to prove yourself over years, Now that the products are easily available, so many people don't realize how long it took to get to some retailers. You need to work extremely hard. And retailers don't just take a product just to put it on the shelf. It has to sell. So the work that goes into marketing that product to try and get people to believe in what you're doing. And this is beauty, skincare. People are very sensitive about their skin.
Yes.
So for you to come up with a product that people can change from multinationals to something that's made in South Africa, that takes a lot of work. Our marketing was mainly based on social media, and we all know how social media is. Today you're good, tomorrow you are not so good. But we've managed to go through all those storms, and we are still here, and our customers are still speaking for us. And most importantly, the efficacy of our product speaks for itself. It's not an easy thing to get over because it can easily break you. But I think what always pushes me, it's purpose, because I know for a fact that someone might be criticizing it for obviously what it didn't deliver, which any other product can, might not do, and they can easily switch to another product. But because it's Portia, and it's Portia Mngomezulu, so that's why so that I need to show that person that I look like you, just like you, I can make mistakes. That just like you, I can grow from your criticism. Just like you, I can innovate from your criticism, and you can look at me differently, you know, and try my product again. So the main thing is to always remember what the purpose is. Sometimes what people cannot realize they can become scares them, you know. And some of us are that hope. Business people, we the industrialists in South Africa, we are that hope to show people that just because you are black, your second nature is not failure. You can continue. You can go through storms. You can continue to grow even above the storms.
Sure, this award is very special to me. It's a Varsity Woman in Business CEO award. I'm very, very excited and truly, truly honored to receive this as a Mosadi myself, and just to be recognized for the hard work that I do. Thank you so much.
Sure, the future looks bright. We are hoping that Portia M will continue to grow. Obviously, the vision being the anchor brand in Africa, guys. You know, people say Vaseline to petroleum. Every petroleum jelly, you Vaseline.
Yeah.
So, in our case, every cream that works. They should just say, "Oh, you're using Portia M."
Oh,
you know?
I see that.
You're using Portia M. We just want to be top of mind as that brand, and we will continue to innovate. There's a lot of work to do. We have a hair care range. We have partly partnered on the makeup range. There's a lot. We want to become a lifestyle brand for Africa and the world at large. Women who are looking up to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's possible if you're persistent, if you focus, follow your purpose, never take anything for granted. You know, many years back when I was still selling my marula oil in church, no one could have foreseen this. But guess what? I knew and God knew. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. So your dreams are valid.